To Libya now, and forces loyal to the unity government are 3 months into a campaign to liberate the city of Sirte from ISIL militants. They're now in control of one of the last districts in central Sirte, previously occupied by ISIL. Libyan forces now control most of the coastal city. Since the 1st of August, they've been aided by US airstrikes. As of Wednesday, the Americans have carried out 48 strikes in total. It's not clear how many have been killed and wounded in the latest fighting. Libyan forces have been taking districts street by street while having to deal with ISIL snipers. Let's get you an update on that story. I'm joined live from Cairo by CCTV's Yasser Hakim. So Yasser, any clarity yet on the number of casualties in the latest round of fighting in Sirte?
Well, the number that's been official right now is over 106 injured and about 12 dead. That's today. If you mark today and yesterday, we're talking 35 in the latest fighting and clearing out Sirte from ISIL militants. Many of these attacks were due to suicide attacks by ISIL during the last days. Only today, on Wednesday, 9 suicide attacks against the Libyan forces, which is a sign of desperation by the ISIL militants going to that far in this stage to try to slow down the march of the Libyan forces and cause as much casualty even through suicide attacks, to keep also in control of the areas that are not yet freed by the Libyan forces, such as the district number 3, neighborhood number 1, which is now under siege by the Libyan army to clear it out from ISIL, just like they did with neighborhood number 2.
And the US has launched dozens of airstrikes on ISIL targets in Sirte this month. Do we know how effective they are, and what about civilian casualties?
Yes, they've been extremely effective, and we've seen how fast the Libyan forces have been taking over control of ISIL areas in the last few weeks. That was helped mainly by the Air Force, the US Air Force, especially that ISIL is using heavy artillery, is using tanks, is using rockets. So they have sophisticated weapons with them. The Libyan army does not. There's an arms embargo on the Libyan army for the last few years, and they're not allowed to use heavy weapons or sophisticated weapons. So they rely on the US right now, as well as intelligence information and training from other countries, neighboring countries and European countries as well. So it has been effective and helpful to the Libyan army as it cracks down on ISIL. The number of casualties is not clear, and we're talking about the civilian casualties, is not very clear, and it's not been an issue in Libya like it is in Syria and Iraq. The number of casualties in Libya has not been as high as casualties in Iraq and Syria, which also shows that there's a large or good positive coordination between the Libyan forces and the American forces in this regard.
We understand, Yasser, Libyan authorities have also highlighted the threat of ISIL out of North Africa and how it's affecting the region and Europe. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, this is now what you can call the next step, the next threat. The neighboring countries are afraid now that the crackdown would lead to the disperse of ISIL either in Libya, in the desert towns and desert areas of Libya in the south and west of Libya, or over the borders. And just this week alone, for example, on Wednesday, Tunisia announced that 5 ISIL militants have been arrested trying to infiltrate into Tunisia on Wednesday. They turned out to be Tunisians. The Libyan force, the Libyan government announced that it has informed Italy that there's a number of ISIL militants have fled to Italy in the last week, and they are inside a town close to Milan. And this information the Libyan authorities have taken from documents that they have captured when they took over ISIL areas. So they have managed to receive documents that shows that there are ISIL cells inside Italy and that they have fled from Libya. and this probably has taken route of the sea through within the illegal migrants. Egypt has captured weapons and artillery and funds that was going on its way to the Ansar Bayt al-Maqdis militant group that is affiliated to ISIL in Libya, and they was on the way from Libya. Algeria is announcing that regularly it has been holding up and arresting either militants or weapons that is going to militants there coming from Libya. So Libya in Boko Haram, many groups have stored their affiliation to ISIL, and ISIL is now sending its funds, its militants to these groups and trying to reorganize probably into another area, will move out from Libya and will be looking to a new safe haven. And every country is hoping that it will not be the target of ISIL. Tunisia and Algeria are building fences and walls on the borders with Libya. Maybe Egypt will also increase its presence on the borders. And obviously we know how Europe is concerned about ISIL moving through the illegal migration there.
All right. Yasser Hakim joining us live from Cairo. Yasser, we thank you.